What's up, Ringside Collectibles and WrestlingFigures.com? It's San Diego Comic-Con 2021, and I'm here with Mattel, Steve Ozer, Bill Miekina. It's time for the 2021 rundown. We just saw all the reveals from San Diego Comic-Con. There's some amazing stuff this year, and I get to talk to my two best Comic-Con buds. Guys, how are you doing?
Good. It's kind of a shame we can't see you in person again this year, but, you know, it's the way things work out sometimes.
I know. We missed those hugs, but Bill, one day it'll happen again. We'll be back together.
We'll hug again one day.
Yeah, we'll hug again one day. Steve, there'll be plenty of hugs for you too.
All right, until then, left out.
Don't feel left out. Hopefully you're happy. And especially hopefully you're happy because some of the reveals you guys have had today have just been like absolutely incredible. It's like year after year, you always wonder like, oh, there's gonna be less surprises this year or something like that. But I'm still surprised again this year. It always happens, and I love to see what y'all are doing, and I love to see it again this year. So glad to hear you're doing good. And Steve, I want to jump in right away to one of my favorite pay-per-views. I love the Big Four, but there's a special place in my heart for Royal Rumble, and also a special place in my heart for Survivor Series. So is there anything based on Survivor Series that you can reveal for us right now that we can take a look at as part of the reveals today?
Well, actually, yes. I just got package samples of our Survivor Series wave for 2021, and they're on display behind me. So I'm going to grab them and show you guys. So
heck yes.
These are fresh from China, fresh in the mail. And you guys get to see them first. So
Steve, before that though, beautiful display. I just want to say really quick, like looking so nice and neat, and you make my OCD feel like so good looking at your collection. So I just want you to know that. Continue.
Thank you. This is not representative of my display at work, which is a huge disaster, by the way. But I got to keep it nice at home. Good. So let's talk about Survivor Series Elites. First up, we have Keith Lee, and Keith is from Survivor Series 2019. I did have to cheat and look at the back of the box for that. A look at the great packaging from our fantastic design team with the cross-sell on the back. I feel like I'm doing one of my Instagram unboxing videos now. But here you can see Keith Lee with his swappable hands. Awesome figure with his blue tights from Survivor Series 2019. Next up, we have Bret Hitman Hart. From his match at Survivor Series 1996 against Stone Cold Steve Austin. Really cool rendition of Bret here with some nice orange highlights on his gear. Look at the packaging here really quick. Yeah. And Bill, I'm pointing at something here. This is pretty cool inclusion. Tell us about this.
It's a trademark purple chair that was used during that match. I think it's the first time we've offered a chair in that color. So if you're a chair completist, we finally got around to the purple colored chair.
Madison Square Garden, purple chairs, super cool inclusion.
And it's one of the rare times color other than pink, black, and white is used on Bret Hart figures. So that's pretty special as well.
Yeah, this figure turned out great. Very excited to see that in person finally. Next up, we have Bayley from Survivor Series 2019.
Nice.
Look at the packaging for Bayley. And Bill, you actually have this figure in hand that you can show us.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite figures I worked on last year just because I really like this feature of the removable silver headdress. I just think it's so cool that we got the detail on this at such a size is it's pretty amazing how accurately they can reproduce like something that fine and thin and produce it on a figure she wore during the entrance to that match.
All right.
That's a really, so a specific detail like that, is it more challenging for you to design, Bill, or is it just something that you kind of have to communicate on and figure out and make sure it works?
It's mostly about the communication, just to make sure that when you turn something over, that it passes all the safety requirements, because it's got to make it has to, like, the thickness has to be a certain length to pass safety testing, but to make sure that you pass all that and also make it accurate to the product that was on TV. So those are like the little, the balances that, part of my job, and the fact that I was able, me along with others, were able to execute this and make it a reality. It's pretty cool. I mean, to me, I don't know. Maybe I'm too self-impressed by what I did, but I don't know.
It is really cool. That's challenging, right? Like, especially such a uniquely designed accessory like that. You can see other toy lines where maybe that sort of even the ideas aren't there. Like there's not necessarily accessories that are that unique in other toy lines. So I think you're allowed to give yourself a pat on the back for that one, and hopefully Bailey's really satisfied with it too. So.
All right, and now the final figure in the wave, Hulkamania is gonna live forever, brother. With the Hulk rules, Hulk Hogan from Survivor Series '89. Super excited to get a Hulk rules Hulkster out there. You can see here. I'm gonna let Bill talk a little bit about the details here on the figure, specifically some of the colors on it. But there is the great action shot on the side of the package, the cross sell for the Hulkster there. Bill, tell us about some of the design details on Hulk here.
I think one of the most noticeable is the new skin tone we're using for Hulk Hogan figures. He had a very deep tan that was even deeper than what we usually spec out for our deeply tanned figures. So to be able to get that correct, we've actually updated the color we're using on Hulk Hogan's from the 80s going forward. So this is one of the first examples of that, and it's pretty cool to see it on the final product.
And I do happen to have Hulk out of package.
Oh, nice.
Now I want to point out, and I'm going to show you the difference here in a second. This sample is a little bit earlier and has the single jointed elbows, but on final product, and hopefully you can see this here, Hulk does have the pinless double jointed elbows. So that's what you guys are going to get. There's a lot of glare there. I'm sorry, but when you get this in hand, he will have pinless double jointed elbows. So you can he's got these hands here, so you can get the hand to the ear, posing on the ropes, and all those signature, Hogan must poses, brother.
Yeah. Guys, that's as awesome as it gets. For a lot of folks, that is like the definitive Hogan, right? So to be able to get your hands on that, especially, special in the Survivor Series lineup, that to me, that's a home run. So nice job. Love the deep tan. Love to get more options going with Hogan. It's for a while there, we had that dry spell or what have you, sort of see him kind of flourish in the line. It's like almost like I would say like a pillar of the Mattel WWE line at this point, to see what great work you're doing on some of the Hogans at this point.
So, I saw after we had revealed the Ultimate Edition Hogan that a lot of collectors were, wanting more, and there was a bit of a dry spell for a moment there. That was unavoidable at the time, but I did want to, put people at ease and let them know that more Hogans were on the way and all their Hogan wishes were going to come true. So you're seeing that happen now. You'll see it happening over the course of the next few months and, of course, over the next few years.
Excellent. That's great to hear. It's going to be awesome to see even more looks, but great to see what we're getting this year. So now, guys, one thing I definitely want to make sure that we touch on, knowing that this is the San Diego Comic-Con 2021 rundown. Can we talk about this year's San Diego Comic-Con exclusive?
Oh, we have to. Bill, you have a great little synopsis of why Sarge is so important. So I'll hand it off to you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if obviously 80s nostalgia is a big selling point at San Diego Comic-Con for exclusives from just about every toy company. So, who encapsulates the 1980s better than Sergeant Slaughter? I mean, he was all over it in the 1980s. He was in the wrestling ring. He was in cartoons. He was on TV. He was even in the White House with the president, shaking hands with Ronald Reagan. Like, he is like Mr. 1980s. So when it came time for us to consider, what are we going to do for the 2021 exclusive? Like, how do you follow up basically 2 Grand Slam home runs? Because that's what I believe our last 2 exclusives were. And I'm not the only one that says that, so I can brag a little bit. But yeah, how do you do that? And I think we've done it. I love how the figure turned out. I love the the packaging execution by our brilliant packaging team is just, it's even better than I had it in my head. Like when I heard the idea for it, I'm like, this is going to be great. But when I actually saw it, I'm like, oh my God, this is actually even better than I anticipated. I anticipated something really, really good. So that's always a treat when you get to work with such talented people. And then the chase mechanisms, like some people are going to get like a special card back, which I think is a cool chase mechanism, because if you're buying it for the figure, everyone's getting the same figure, but some people, there is like some people do get lucky and get a different chase card mechanism. I think that's really a great way to sort of reward our fans.
Yeah, Steve, thanks for showing us exactly what Bill's referencing here. So this is this like an even split, or is one of them more rare than the other at this point, since if you would say it's a chase, or what?
The black carded version is much more rare than the blue carded version. We are not able to share numbers or ratios, but it is pretty rare. So if you get this, it's like your Willy Wonka golden ticket, and you got very lucky. But we're very cognizant figure-wise, since this is something you can do online. You can't hunt it down in stores and find a deco chase. We didn't want to do anything different to the figure itself, so we kept that that special prize, so to speak, to the packaging. And I want to tell a story. Like we're all working virtually, obviously, over the last year and a half. But we do sometimes have sample reviews or packaging reviews where we meet up socially distance and check things out. And when we got these in hand, I can say both myself and our copywriter Rob, like the first time we opened the box and had this in our hands, we were both overcome emotionally, right? We grew up in this era of toys, and to see this artwork and the colors and everything else again, it was so meaningful and so special. And I really hope, and it seems like it has been received that way from all of our, collectors and all the fans, like seeing this and it being truly meaningful. A lot of love really went into this. And I mean that. And, I hope everyone who can get this really enjoys it.
Excellent. That's great. Great effort, and great to see that and hear that. It's going to be awesome to for everyone to get their hands on that. Just like you said, that connection to all of our favorite old school wrestling is as good as it gets, especially coming from Mattel. So cool. Thanks for showing that. I heard you might have a sneak peek also before we dive really deep. One other highlight I want to make sure that we cover. I heard you might have a sneak peek at the upcoming Ringside Cactus Jack figure in packaging. I happen to have. So this is. Hang on a minute, guys. This is my turn for a reveal right here, because I have the Ringside exclusive Cactus Jack loose right here, including the ECW Tag Team Championship, which is just so dope. And I'm so happy to have one in my collection. But Steve, do you happen to have a packaged one that you can show off?
Yeah, so I mentioned Survivor Series just showed up in the mail. This just showed up in the mail, and we haven't even had a chance to get this to our photography studio yet to shoot. So this is truly the first time you're seeing this ECW Cactus Jack in package. And the packaging, once again, shout out to George and Bruce on our packaging team, who do such a phenomenal job. Robert with the copy on the back as well. Best in the business for sure. ECW diorama style backdrop, so you can recreate all those unbelievable promos of the ECW era. First time ever ECW tag team title, soft goods shirt. Cactus has the singlet on underneath the shirt, so you can pull that off and have a WCW-esque Cactus Jack. It's really phenomenal. Bill, you did an outstanding job on this. Do you want to speak to anything specifically?
Yeah, I think my favorite part of this actually is the head scan. It's a brand new head scan based off of the classic Cactus Jack T-shirt with the tongue sticking out sideways through the mouth. I'm so glad we were able to execute that both from a sculpt and deco perspective, and seeing it on a figure is something that I've wanted this for something like this for a long time. And then again, to be involved in executing it, it's pretty cool.
Excellent. One thing I also, Bill, to your point about the head scan, the ponytail here is definitely different. Like it's a different mold than what we had noticed from like maybe a previous the previous ringside exclusive Cactus Jack. I know had that kind of just long flowing fully hair, and this is like really spot on with how Cactus looked at that time, right?
Oh yeah, you want to make sure you do it right. If you're gonna do it, you got to do it right.
Yeah. Also, just to make sure I call that out, it looks like he's got that scar on his arm too, right?
He does have the distinctive scar, also.
Yeah. It's looking really fresh on this one, so that makes sense. The years of it fading away haven't quite kicked in yet, so cool to see a Cactus at that stage in his career. So really exciting that we get to have that exclusive to Ringside Collectibles. So thank you guys for that also, by the way. So next I'd like to jump into, we have so much to cover today, and I will get to as much as we can, but one thing I want to make sure that we do kind of look at least in a general sense, in the basic line, you revealed a ton of first time in the line superstars this Comic-Con. So like Joaquin Wilde, Raul Mendoza, Isaiah Swerve Scott. We even saw like a new Mandy Rose there, and Ember Moon in the basic line. What's standing out for you guys? Since we maybe can't cover all of them, what stands out for you in the basic line out of either the names I just named or somebody I missed?
I think for me, Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde are definite standouts because the chases in there, so you get both their non face painted looks and their face painted looks, and we were able to sneak in some bonus mask accessories to really round out the play and storytelling of those figures. I was a fan of Joaquin, before he joined NXT, so it's super cool to see him in action figure form in our line here. And just awesome to complete factions in a rapid fire way like we did there.
Yeah, I think my favorite shown was actually the Santos Escobar because the way the line is scheduled, he's probably not due for an elite for some time to come. And when he came out with that outfit last year, I was like, oh man, I really want to see that on a figure. So the fact that our basic designer decided that he also wanted to see that on a figure and did it and executed it was like, okay, this makes me feel good.
That's excellent. So moving on quickly to the Elite Series, we saw some reveals here. Kishida and MVP, which we had MVP like at the launch of the line, which is so crazy to think that it's been so long. Maybe not was MVP in the first series?
He was in Elite Series 1. Yeah, he was in Elite Series 1.
And I think maybe we didn't get another one after that. So is this like maybe the next MVP since that one?
There was another Elite series? I think in either 8 or 9. The memory gets a little fuzzy going back that far.
Same. I think that's when he was tagging with Mark Henry, right? Maybe we had.
It's been a bit. I like about this one is that this has a new torso, so you can compare 2010 MVP figure to 2021 MVP figure, and you can sort of see the passage of time, which I think is pretty cool.
That's awesome. Also in that set, we saw Rey Mysterio, Matt Riddle, Roman Reigns, and then Trish Stratus with Chase and Zodiac. Any other details or thoughts about this set as well that you'd like to give?
I can't believe I was allowed to make a Zodiac figure. Just that it's that's I don't know.
There was quite the journey of getting that Zodiac figure made.
Yeah.
But we'll save that for the book after retirement, maybe, right, Bill?
Yeah, maybe not.
long after you could possibly get in trouble. No worries.
But that's a great wave. I think it visually looks really great, all lined up together. Pictures should be coming fairly soon of actual product there. Zodiac, of course, super toyetic. The Trish figures look great. Trish from her title victory at Survivor Series, and then WrestleMania in Toronto for the chase. Kushida, phenomenal. I'm going to break out my old Matty Collector 6-inch scale hoverboard to go with him.
Yeah, Kushida is interesting because he actually has a logo on his outfit that looks very similar to a certain toy manufacturer's logo. And luckily we didn't have to ask for third-party permission to use it in this instance. So
excellent. It's the small wins, right? That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a small victory. Anytime you can sort of use your own third-party logo on the product you're designing, you kind of have to do it.
Totally. And then of course Riddle in there, looking as fresh as ever. We've seen, I think, 1 or 2 Riddles so far, right? And now this is like we're almost getting to RK Bro, but definitely this is this is a definitive Riddle for anybody that's looking for him.
Yeah, he has a nice upgrade too. He's getting the pinless double jointed elbows.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a nice way. If you already have a Riddle, it's a good reason to upgrade and buy into this new one.
Awesome. Very cool. All right. Then moving on, looking into Elite 89. Obviously, Bill, I think you might have something over there from this set. We've been waiting for a really long time for the almighty Bobby Lashley. Would you happen to have him over there?
Yeah, I have a sample of him. I know he's been a big mainstay on the show for a long time, and it's about time we got him back into the lineup. So it's just happened to have a first look at the new figure coming out with the logos on the sides. And this is back when he was part of the Hurt business. So you have that branding on the side there as well.
Excellent.
And a new mean expression. The last one had the smile, but he's not smiling a lot anymore. So we got to change up the head sculpt.
Yeah, you can't get any meaner than what he did to what's that?
He's not as happy now that he's champion.
No, he's not. You can't get any meaner than what he did to Kofi Kingston earlier. So you're right. That's pretty mean. Still almighty, very mean. Also, Damian Priest is in Elite 89, and that's his first ever Elite figure, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, and he has brand new hips and legs, and this is a close to production sample on this, and just the detailing on this turned out phenomenal. It's got all the surface detail and like all the zippers and all the metal parts that are on his purple gear. And then also I had the necklace, the Archer of Infamy necklace created for the figure, in a brand new head sculpt that I mean, again, the new True Effects technology we have on these figures, some of the heads you see on them are just so uncanny. It's almost a little unnerving.
Yeah, maybe a little, but still really cool.
That's actually my first time seeing a physical version of that, and the head sculpt just blew my mind.
Yeah, it's that's why I picked this one out to show, just because I'm just so happy with how this one turned out. It's such a cool character, and to see like the first Elite figure just sort of be so impressive, it's satisfying. I'm not gonna lie.
Definitely.
But that's how early we're showing you guys stuff. Like literally, I haven't even seen it yet. Like Bill just gets it in, and we're showing you guys. It's really special to be a wrestling figure collector, right? What can we say? Especially with you guys. So we try.
Yeah.
Also in Elite 89, what's that?
It's what we're aiming for.
Excellent. Also in Elite 89, Dominic Mysterio, right? First time in the line for him also. Is this first time in general or first Elite?
I believe this is his first figure in the Mattel line.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to debut as an Elite.
Excellent.
I think once we saw the outfit we picked out, we're like, there's no way it can't be in any lineup but Elite, just because the deco is so large, so to speak.
You need that articulation to tag him with Elite 88 Rey Mysterio and make sure your matches have as much accuracy as possible. So
yeah, it was fun to make sure that those two were coordinated, because that was a cool visual look for those two.
Yeah, they've had some great moments, right? So to see them paired up together in figure form is really exciting. Also in Elite 89, Drew McIntyre, Nia Jax, another Sergeant Slaughter, not the Comic-Con exclusive, but an Elite Sergeant Slaughter, and the Goon. That's a big surprise, right?
I think the Goon is one of the probably, maybe venture to guess, the most surprising reveal of today. We're trying to keep maybe him and Zodiac. We're trying to keep some of these like really close to the vest.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, this is close to final sample on the Goon, and I couldn't be happier with how it turned out. We even got the trademark the boots, the crazy boots he had with the oversized soles to sort of replicate hockey skates. And he does have removable hands that are in the shape of the goalie gloves. So you can remove those and replace them with regular hands for when he gets down to wrestling. This one was a lot of fun to work on. I'm not going to lie. Just figuring out how to get them to exist and then bringing it to life, so to speak. I'm really happy that there is a Goon figure coming out.
Really unique and really cool to see that, for sure. No doubt about that. So in Elite 90, we have a Jey Uso, and now this is going to be like almost basically a solo Jey Uso. We've been waiting for that for a long time because he's just been, extremely involved in Roman Reigns storylines and everything that's been happening. When you're watching SmackDown, he's kind of always there. So a new Jey Uso is going to be a big deal. Also in that set, Big Boss Man, Bronson Reed with Bam Bam attire, Mustafa Ali, Randy Orton, Reckoning, and Chief Jay Strongbow. So if you're asking me, I think people are getting a lot of variety, especially looking at that lineup with all different eras. What do you think about that?
It's funny. I'll finish. My favorite figure in that lineup, I think, is the Randy Orton, which is probably unusual just because we've made so many Randy Ortons. But just the night vision goggles accessory, I think that was so much, again, fun to create, and it's a meaningful accessory that, how can you do Randy Orton differently from 10 years of, Randy Orton's? How do you get someone excited about, another Randy Orton figure? I think we did with this figure.
I think the other, bonus is that he wore that white gear, which, we were very fortunate to have happen because that is strikingly different from the majority of the other Randy Orton figures. And in figure form, it just looks great. Like white figures seem to always just look really, really cool looking. But as far as like the lineups, Tom, like you talked about, having like a robust and appealing lineup, like I think that's our goal when we create these lineups and work with WWE to create them. We want to try to include a little something for everybody, for every generation of fans, for fans of female figures, for fans of legends, for NXT fans, for modern fans, the whole 9 yards, and even breaking it down even further, new generation, ruthless aggression, attitude era, and on down the line. We just want to make sure we're including as much variety from like an appeal perspective as possible. And I think, fingers crossed, a lot of people are seeing that reflected in the lineups, and, finding something appealing no matter, when you grew up or what you're currently a fan of.
That sounds great. I think that's that to me, that hits the nail on the head. It's great as a, for me, near and dear to my heart is attitude era and ruthless aggression era. And then I even like some modern looks, and I wasn't so much of a fan at the time during maybe like the golden era or anything like that. But when I see figures made like Chief Jay Strongbow or Goon, I know I'm okay not being selfish about it. Like I like to see some unique looks. I like to see everybody kind of get what they want, and there's a piece of the wrestling figure pie for all of us in that case.
And I think even the Goon and Chief Jay, I think that shows, the collectors that we want to do everyone we possibly can in this line. If we gain access to legends or modern talent, we want to find a way to make it happen. And I think especially over the last several years, we've taken a lot of strides, through collector's edition, through first time in the line, elites and basics, that we're really trying to stretch the limits of who we can include in this line.
Very cool. Very cool. One more to talk about, Elite 91. We saw revealed today a new RVD and Bianca Blair and Hulk Hogan. So not as many that we'll see compared to the earlier lines. We're still in development, right? But can you give us any details on the rest of the set besides those three, or any other details within that set, or anything you'd like to talk about on those three as well?
I don't remember. I
Yeah,
don't remember.
I'm in the same boat. I'm working on so many different lineups all at once. Like I don't like. I honestly, I probably couldn't even name the other three in that lineup, but if you told me, I might be like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Good. They're good.
Yeah.
Believe me.
I have a little, I'm getting a telegram in my ear, beep, 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 some SOS. I may have the other names in the line if you can confirm, if you'd like.
You can name one.
Okay, I'll name one.
It.
Is it possible that Austin Theory is in this lineup?
That is a very strong possibility.
Oh, okay. Good to know. So in Elite 91, we have two kind of long-awaited names with two really long-awaited looks. This is RVD's first time back in the line in a really long time. So Bill, are you excited about this? What look are we looking at? We saw the reveal earlier today, but
yeah, I'm excited to have the chance to do Rob Van Dam figures again. There was some meat left on the bone last time we had them that I really wanted to get to. And this time when we got the rights back, I jumped on it, and we're doing him in the tiger stripe outfit. And then also, I'm sort of glad there was a little bit of a pause, because that also now allows us to do, interchangeable thumbs up hands to do the Rob Van Dam on these, which may not have been possible before. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise that we're doing this now instead of maybe in the past.
Yeah, true that. New tooling, that's like that'll be kind of night and day for really how you want to jump in. Like you said, so much more meat on the bone. You want to jump in and really get to that and work on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Steve, do you and can you give us some detail on the Hogan look in Elite 91?
Yes. Hulk is sporting his look from SummerSlam with his match versus Shawn Michaels that took place in Washington, D.C. And I know that was a long requested version of Hulk. So super excited to get that out. Bill went ahead and sculpted and tooled up a new double boa for him to represent the proper boa that he wore during his entrance. And personal fun fact about that Hogan is I was living in Florida at the time, and I drove up to Washington, D.C. to see that match and see that SummerSlam. And my mom heard that I was, driving up to the Northeast, and she met me in Washington, D.C., and it was her first ever WWE show. And, we all know how Shawn performed in that match. And my mom loved it, like absolutely loved it, like never cared for WWE as a kid with me, but like seeing Shawn perform and really like putting, some extra selling into those, bumps with the Hulkster, she couldn't get enough of it. And she was hooked.
So in other words, you're going to send her one for the holidays or maybe a birthday, right?
Maybe I'll send her an Ultimate Edition instead.
Even better. And the last name we had in that lineup, Bianca Blair. Can you tell us what gear she was wearing in that set?
Yeah, she's featured in her Royal Rumble gear. And we also were able to get a title in there with her as an accessory to kind of tell that story from Royal Rumble victory through WrestleMania. That was such an iconic moment at WrestleMania, her versus Sasha. The crowd reaction was off the charts. So we already had her in progress, and that Rumble gear was so fantastic. But we did want to, have a wink and a nod and pay homage to her championship victory as well. So we were able to add the title at the 11th hour.
Excellent.
And this figure does have the first ever removable earrings on a head sculpt. So she's got those distinctive big loop earrings that she comes out and wears during her entrance. We're able to include those on a figure now as a removable accessory, which is pretty cool when you see it on a figure.
That is really cool. Yeah. So, wow, that's so interesting. So you generally have to be looking for those kinds of details that you can affect with tooling, right? Like that's really unique. Is there the chance for more unique tooling like that in the future on other figures as well?
I believe so.
Yeah, we're always looking for ways to plus things up and tossing ideas back and forth to each other. And sometimes there's eureka moments like, never thought of that. This is accomplishable, or advances in technology. I mean, sometimes, Bill, you comment on things of being blown away. They were able to accomplish something that you tasked them with.
Yeah, there's stuff that they like I can accomplish now that I couldn't when I started designing this. so many years ago. And it's really kind of, it's satisfying to see how much better you can make the product now than even, when I started in 2010.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool, man. So Elite 92, we saw Adam Cole, baby, a regular and a chase version revealed, and a new version of the Fiend in his burned look. Would you like to talk about those two?
Let's talk about Cole first, because it's the long-awaited camo Cole. So we anticipated camo Cole winning the fan vote for the fan takeover line. It didn't happen. So, of course, we knew everyone wanted that figure. We had to get the fan takeover winning figure out and then give a little breathing room. But, I tried to have people be rest assured that we would get to the camo Cole, but now it's finally a reality. And he's getting, I believe, a new head scan. Right, Bill?
It is a new head sculpt, yes.
Yeah, so super excited to get that chase version out, as well as the new non-undisputed version of Cole out as the standard.
Yeah, I'm most excited about the Bray Wyatt. I mean, the character didn't do a lot of in-ring action, but it was such a visual. It's like you first see it, it's like, gosh, that's going to make such a cool figure. And
it looks like it's going to be pretty wild
it's definitely going to stand out next to the other even next to other Bray Wyatts in your collection. Yeah. It's going to be very distinct.
Excellent. Also, you guys were nice enough, and I think this wraps us up for the Elite lines, nice enough to show some renders of Raquel Gonzalez, Karrion Kross, and maybe I think one of the coolest reveals, excuse me, Chainsaw Charlie with a chainsaw accessory. That's like, man, like totally unexpected, really awesome. Want to talk about those three at all?
Yeah, I mean, we're always looking to add new people on our roster, and then the rise of Raquel Gonzalez this year has been pretty meteoric. So of course, when it came time to put a new first time in the line in the Elite lineup, she rose to the top of the list. And also, Karrion Kross, the first one did remarkably well at retail, and he's now NXT champion with a new sort of gladiator and styled look. So when it came time to put him back in the lineup, it was nice to see there was something visually new and interesting, so that, if you have the first one, there is a reason to buy the second one. And then Chainsaw Charlie, it's, I'm an unabashed fan of who may or may not be Chainsaw Charlie. So any chance I get to make figures of Terry Funk, I will seize with both hands and make sure that happens.
Yeah, Terry was a long time coming. We tried several times to get Chainsaw Charlie out. So super stoked that he has a home in the line now, and will be able to join your Attitude Era shelves shortly.
Excellent. Yeah, that's great news. Really, really great news. So that wraps it up, I think, for the Elite reveals we saw today. I'd love to talk to you guys about two really exciting reveals in the Ultimate Edition lineup. So we saw, we knew with the level of accessories we get, the articulation we get, the detail we get in the Ultimate Edition line, which has just been so incredible so far, that eventually we'd have to see Kane and Undertaker, right? So you revealed Kane and Undertaker in the Ultimate Edition line today. Can you tell us a little bit more about those two and what that was like to get the Brothers of Destruction together in a lineup like this?
Yeah, I think we've been very lucky with Ultimates. Okay, you can.
Let me toss it to you in a second, Bill. So obviously this entire time since Ultimate Edition debuted, people have been asking for Kane and Undertaker, right? We knew the Undertaker that had to be done here, which is the one that was revealed today. And Kane, he's had a lot of figures, but for him to be upgraded in Ultimate Edition, it's meaningful and it's very visually appealing when you see it. So we were waiting for the right moment to specifically get that Undertaker absolutely right. And I think we nailed him and Kane as well. So Bill, tell us about those.
Yeah, we were kind of lucky when we started Ultimates that there were versions of characters that we hadn't done that lent itself to like an Ultimate execution, sort of like the DX Shawn Michaels we did, and the Triple H from his first his first title run that were like very meaningful, and we're just waiting there to be done. And this Undertaker is the same. It's like this was sort of like probably the most important visual look on Undertaker we had yet to explore anywhere in the line. So the fact that he was there waiting to be done as an Ultimate was sort of one of those things nicely that fell into place. And with Kane, we've done multiple Kanes before, but he's consistently a popular figure. And if you do an Undertaker Ultimate, you kind of almost have to do Kane with him. It doesn't make sense to do like any other talent in that wave with him. So it was really fun to sort of like, what can we do different with Kane to make him Ultimate? And we found some pretty interesting ways to do that. I think the two different styles of hair, just having a Kane with like the original Kane with the hair swept back behind the ears makes a lot of difference because he doesn't change expression. So you got to figure out something to do on the head to make, sort of like, what are we going to do with the second head on Kane? Well, we can do like, when he throws his head back and the hair flies behind the ears, like that's never been done before. And that's going to be really cool when people do figure photography with that. Mm-hmm. And the other was the big Easter egg of the entrance cloak, which was sort of an urban legend photo of him with the entrance cape that he never actually wore on TV, but was sort of worn on some early shows. It's like, gosh, if that's an accessory, and it was sort of like we were waiting, is WWE going to approve this? And I think they also realized like how cool it would be to have an Ultimate Kane with that cloak. So I don't think it took much about convincing on our end to WWE to say like, hey, I know this was never on TV, but we got to include this on Ultimates. And I think they agreed. And I think all of us are very happy with the result of the figure. I know I am. I'm really happy. I've got the first deco sample about a week and a half ago, and just seeing, even the first pass, it was like, oh, this is so cool.
Now that I've seen Kane with the cape, I don't want to display him any other way.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible. It's a really unique look, even for that time frame, and it's great to see that you guys are able to do this. For me, like I said before, like when it comes to the Attitude Era, like I'm either right there or close to it with almost every single figure, and these versions of Kane and Undertaker are exactly what I would be looking for. So I'm really excited to get my hands on these as well when the time comes.
And Bill, I think you do have another sneak peek for us, right? Talking about Ultimates.
Yeah, I actually do have. This is first sample of the Undertaker, and just showing the presence of it is pretty outstanding. And we did actually do a unique entrance head for this figure, so it would work with the cloak, because of the way the cloak sits on the figure. You'd need a head where the hair like falls and is draped over the front. So we have a unique head to use, when you do the posing with him, in the entrance gear. And then once he takes off all the entrance gears, you have other heads for like in-ring action. But it's really, I don't know, I keep using the word cool a lot, but I'm kind of just can't think of better words right now to describe
it. It is cool.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with that, man. It's definitely cool. This is like the version of the Undertaker that used to make little kids cry. So, and what's cooler than making a little kid cry? What can you say? Just
toy designer, I'm not allowed to say that out loud.
So, any hints on future mainline Ultimates that you guys can provide? Obviously, it's been such a great series. We've seen some incredible things. I'm still in shock over NWO Hogan. Like, now we're seeing this. What can we expect in the future?
So, I don't know if everyone knows, but there's actually an extended cut of the San Diego Comic-Con panel that lives on WWE's channels. And in there, the viewers will have seen an Ultimate Edition reveal of Alexa Bliss. So there is an Alexa Bliss Ultimate coming. And we do try to make some sense out of these pairings when we can. So the other figure in the wave may or may not be related to Alexa Bliss in some way.
Interesting. That's a hint if I ever heard it. So very cool. Any other Ultimate Edition figures they would have seen during that panel?
We showed a new subline of WWE Legends, WWE Ultimate Legends. So Batista is going to be making his debut as an Ultimate Edition figure in that Legends Ultimate subline. And Bill, can you tell us about the look and era of that Batista?
Yeah, it's from the first world title win era. It's got 3 new heads, which I think turned out outstanding. My favorite is probably the closed mouth one, so he can do his entrance, where he does the guns and he closes his mouth and all the fireworks go off, and everyone loved that when Batista would come out. And also he's got the 2 contracts, so he can choose his opponent for WrestleMania, and we did give him a thumb hand, so you can do either like the thumbs up and the thumbs down posing.
Excellent.
This one, yeah, there's a lot of like little details that you can do when you have an ultimate style execution that just give you so much more like play and posability that are really satisfying to execute.
He also has the butterfly shoulders upgrade that a lot of the new Ultimates have. And, I want to say there's something incredibly satisfying about these larger superstars like Batista, John Cena, Brock Lesnar in Ultimate form, to where, maybe, when you think about an Ultimate Edition figure, you think of that first Ultimate Warrior or the Bret Hart with the swappable arms, and maybe you don't mentally gravitate towards someone like a Brock Lesnar or Batista or John Cena at first. But then when you get them in hand, they're so satisfying, this like hulking type of superstar, with this increased articulation, and they've become some of my favorite figures in the line.
It's very cool. I agree. I agree with you, Steve. I think to really be able to give them that size and compatibility, even to other elite figures, is just so much fun, and it allows for a really like diverse and really unique action figure collection. So maybe if you we're wanting something, to your point, a little bit thicker than what you've seen in the elite line, the Ultimate Edition is the way to go, depending on the names, of course. Excellent. So one thing I'd like to talk about, we did get a look at what's going to be I think released very soon. It's shortly after Comic-Con. We'll be seeing at Ringside Collectibles the ECW Cactus Jack Ringside exclusive, right? So the next Ringside Collectibles exclusive was also revealed at this panel, and this is going to be the Blackheart Tommaso Ciampa Mattel WWE Elite Ringside Collectibles exclusive. And this is just so exciting because not only do we get another Tommaso Ciampa figure, it's in his incredibly cool entrance gear from last November's NXT TakeOver with a little bit of like a Mortal Kombat inspired mask. And it's just such a cool look. And we'll have photos here for everybody to see in this discussion, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on this and how that came about in development and what you think about how it looks.
Yeah, we actually got to work closely with Tommaso on the development of this, a little closer than usual. But I've seen the comments over the past few months of, why isn't there a Tommaso figure? Why isn't there a new Tommaso? And I had to keep tight-lipped because I knew the big reveal was coming at Comic-Con here.
You did. So you just said that you worked more closely with Tommaso than you might normally work with other talents on the WWE roster. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Like, how did he help to bring some of this stuff to life and provide more information with some of the detail that'll end up in this figure?
Well, some of our designers actually get to go to the Performance Center and work with some of the talent there. I believe there's a video of Bill from maybe 2 or 3 years ago of you heading down to the Performance Center to do some scans and whatnot. And then there have been subsequent visits there of other designers going there, and doing various designs for gear and whatnot. One of the gears was featured in a figure of Bianca Belair. her first basic figure was something that our team worked closely with them on. So Tommaso was another example of that, of some of our team members, initially going down there to work with people at the Performance Center pre-COVID, obviously. And then, that relationship continued through the development of that specific gear.
That's excellent. So these guys, just like us, obviously are figure fans, and they want to make sure that their individual looks that are really toyetic, as we like to say, turn out really well and accurate.
Yeah, there's a lot of big fans, and they get it. They get the importance of cool gear, making gear that's toyetic, varying up their gear to increase chances of new figures. We talked about, people who had, suddenly had new colors or whatever for the first time in a long time, and how that really, entices us to make a new figure of them, gives us a reason, gives the consumer and collectors a reason to buy another repeat character. If there's a different deco option. So yeah, a lot of talent really appreciate the importance of good gear in relation to toys and product. Excellent.
And Bill, knowing that this is a Ringside exclusive, and being with Ringside, I do have to pry a little bit. How about Tommaso Sculpt? Do you have any details you can provide on that?
Yeah, it's got a brand. There's a bunch of new parts on him. He's got the new face mask and hood, and those are actually separate parts. So if you want to pose him with just the mask, you can do that as well. And he also has a feature that I'm most proud of, actually, probably, is he's got the necklace with the Willow's bell around the neck, which is a pretty important part of his character now. Included that as a new part.
Awesome. Great to hear. As always, I can't wait till this comes out, but ahead of time, thanks you guys for working with Ringside Collectibles on this. So we have really awesome, really unique exclusives as time goes on. It's always good to be satisfied with the stuff that you can get with Ringside and
the packaging will also, as usual, be pretty spectacular.
Awesome. Great to hear. Can't wait to see it.
And you can pre-order that now at ringsidecollectibles.com.
Steve, you have my job. It's all yours. There you go. So you revealed a SummerSlam Elite Young Dominic Mysterio Build-A-Figure from 2005. So this is new. Is this like the youngest WWE action figure of all time, or what? I mean, unless you want to count Rocco, which I don't know if he has how old he would be technically, but otherwise, I guess this is it.
He's probably the youngest, because he was at that point from SummerSlam, 3 months old?
Yeah, it's
so second youngest than Dominic. What can you tell us about that one?
I'm so happy that we were able to do this. This might be the only chance where we could actually make a version of a WWE superstar as a child and still have it be relevant to WWE programming, because he was such a large part of that 2005 SummerSlam era. So when Dominic Mysterio, joined the WWE roster, there was always like that idea in the back of the head. He's like, gosh, can we do him as that little kid from that SummerSlam? And then when we were figuring out, Build-A-Figures for the upcoming pay-per-view waves, like he sort of like rose to the top of the list. And it's like, again, like when we approached WWE, it was like, do you think they'll allow us to do this? And I think also, again, they saw how, how great an idea that would be. And they agreed. And then, we're going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, Dominic as well loved it. What a unique opportunity. Almost never presents itself. Maybe never again. So super cool to do that. And I think, also the big news here is that Build-A-Figures are rolling out to all the pay-per-view assortments in 2022. So each of the big four will have a Build-A-Figure component. Jimmy Hart in Royal Rumble, Vince McMahon in WrestleMania, Dominic for SummerSlam, and then, to be revealed at a later date, a really cool Build-A-Figure for Survivor Series.
Awesome. Can't wait to hear. So we also saw, speaking of that, the WrestleMania set, we saw the Elite AJ Styles from the Boneyard match, right? So basically, at this point, Undertaker's retirement match. So that'll be really great to see that version of AJ. Any thoughts on that one?
The AJ from Survivors from the WrestleMania series.
Yeah, from the Boneyard match, AJ.
Yeah, I mean, we've done a lot of Elite AJ, so it was cool to do like an AJ Styles that's completely different from anything we've done before. And then I like the fact that we were able also to include the shovel accessory, because I liked how that turned out with the Undertaker before. So the fact that we get to use it again made my day.
Excellent.
And the render, I believe, did not have a shirt, but he will have a shirt. He will include a shirt that he wore in that Boneyard match.
So Bill, Steve, I know we couldn't be together again this year, which is a little bit of a bummer, but I really enjoyed this last year to sit and talk and rap about this for a while. I enjoyed it again this year. A ton of great reveals. You guys are still super talented. I love to see what you show us. I love to see what the entire Mattel team shows. It's like a really exciting moment every single year at Comic-Con to not only see all these figures, but to be able to walk through these with you guys with such in-depth detail. So I want to say thank you for joining the Ringside Collectibles 2021 San Diego Comic-Con Mattel WWE Wrestling Action Figure Rundown. It's always a pleasure. I love seeing you guys, love talking to you, and really appreciate what you can show us and how much you can talk about it. So thank you so much. And looking forward to the next time we talk and the next time we see each other, of course.
Sounds great.
Yeah. We love you guys. We love the Ringside fans and consumers. And it is unfortunate we couldn't see each other again this year, but we're in the home stretch and we're going to see everybody soon, all the fans at Access, at Comic-Con, and all the live events. And I'm really looking forward to that day and can't wait to interact with all of you in person very, very soon.
Same. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you next time. And everybody following Ringside Collectibles and WrestlingFigures.com, stay tuned, not just for the rundown, but we'll also have a Q&A with Steve and Bill and plenty more to come after that. So stay tuned.